Hey y'all, welcome into Tommy Bites TV. Thank you for being here today. So this is gonna be a really quick video because my husband has come home and I try not to be on here when he is home, and plus I have to go find something to cook. That. So thank y'all for coming in. Excuse me. As you enter, please hit that like button. I had this live was supposed to go earlier, but then I got caught up doing something else, and now I got another story I need to add to it. So I have three stories that I'm going to add to this particular one right here. So definitely hit the like as you enter. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I can't wait for anybody to come in. If you're watching on replay, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. All of the support that you guys are giving to the channel, and welcome to any and all new subscribers, which are now family members that I call cousins over here on Tommy Bites TV. If you subscribe to my other channel, Tommy Bites Life, I don't call y'all cousins over there anymore. I call y'all buttercups. So, hey y'all, welcome in. How are you doing? I can't really see the chat very well today. My eyes are not as good as they were yesterday. Okay, so the first story we have here is oh my gosh. I think no, I don't want to do that story first. I don't want to do that story first. Hold on. Go. So thank y'all for coming in again. So this with the Google thing, it won't affect everybody, but with Facebook, if you have Facebook, it's definitely going to affect you what's going on with them. So with Google, they have sent out an alert for millions of phone users. Exact number, you must check your phone, your mobile for this today to make sure you stay safe. So it says it involves the next software update to address serious security vulnerabilities and enhance performance on devices. Hold on. Facebook, they say they're warning all users over risk of stolen passwords as billions are urged to change key settings today. So if you have Facebook, you might want to get that changed. Billions of Facebook users are being urged to use a new way to log in. Meta bosses who run Facebook say that the new system is safer than the passwords, which can be guessed or easily stolen. So basically, they're going to force you to change that. They want you to use these right here where you click it. I guess it can do like a face thing or something like that on it. Meta added a new way of logging into Facebook. You're going to be using a pass key. They're going to make you use this pass key. A lot of people don't want to do that. They want to stick with the passwords. And definitely don't want to do the face thing. But if you're using these apps, they're going to force you to do it. So instead, Facebook is now offering pass keys on smartphones like your iPhone or your Android. Instead of typing in a password, you'll simply log in the same way you unlock your phone. That means a face ID scan. I know a lot of people don't like to do that. I didn't like to do it at first, but I had to give in because everything is that now. On your iPhone or tapping the fingerprint sensor. Now, I'm not doing that. It's part of a massive push by tech giants, including Apple and Google, to replace passwords and pass keys. I think I told you about that either last month or the month before. Now, moving on to the next story is a doozy because a lot of people are about to lose their jobs. Some people are opting to take, are opting to take what is it? They're opting out and taking that early retirement because of knowing that this had the potential to come, because I have family members that have done that because they knew that these layoffs were going to come once they got approved. And guess what? July 8th, they approved the president to do these things. So hold on. Camera back on. Okay, with new power, they say Trump will move immediately to lay off federal workers. This article is from today, the 9th. He was given this power on yesterday. So President Donald Trump has seized the authority to lay off federal workers. Hold on, let me make this a little bit bigger for me. Y'all got 6 more days to be dealing with these eyes of mine. Hopefully it'll get better. Oh, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? No. Why did it do that? It was glitching. Let me make sure y'all can still see. It was glitching real bad. Okay. So let's see. Let's delete that. President Donald Trump has seized the authority to lay off federal workers and reorganize the federal government in a way that a lot of critics are saying the president has not had, any president has had in over 100 years. And this is going to change how things operate for future presidents as well, giving them more power to do more things without needing Congress. Okay, so checks and balances are basically leaving, if not already gone. So the power which the Supreme Court gave temporarily, y'all, in a July 8th order, puts at risk thousands of federal jobs across the country at agencies that collect taxes, provide health care to veterans, and help administer retirement benefits. Now, I saw where someone did a video on veterans receiving care and being denied care if they're asked, if depending on what side of the political field you fall on, blue or red. So they're saying that physicians at these VA hospitals can ask you, now it's not supposed to be legal, but nowadays I don't know what's legal and what's not. Are you married? For one, if you're not married and you didn't vote red, they might deny you service. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to that. That could just be somebody putting fear out there, but I thought I would let you know what's going around. So labor unions say the cuts fly in the face of established law and decades of tradition. But a senior White House official told USA the layoffs are legal and the administration intends to immediately reduce the size of the government. While the court did not rule on the underlying question of Trump's ability to impact widespread job cuts, the justices said they were likely to affirm that power. Right now, it's temporary. A final decision in favor of the president will continue a trend in which the executive branch increases its power in relation to Congress and the courts, making Trump and future presidents more powerful than they have ever been in any generation. The American Federation of Government Employment, a labor union that partnered with outside groups and local government to sue Trump administration, said the high courts has dealt a serious blow to our democracy. Y'all can let me know what y'all think. And puts services that the American people rely on in grave jeopardy. I just don't feel like, they always want people to serve. They always want people to, protect the country, be a patriot. But then when these veterans need that assistance, it's just not there the way they need it. So Trump began the mass layoffs called a reduction in force when he signed an executive order back in February on the 11th with his ex-best friend, Elon Musk. The order called on agencies to begin a months-long process to reduce the ranks of government to the extent applicable by law. So they just want to cut, and I guess funnel that money somewhere else. Anyway, AFGE, the largest federal labor union, joined with other union nonprofit organizations and local government on April 28th to sue the Trump administration, saying that it needed Congress approval for mass layoffs. And see, that's why he was trying to get the approval from the Supreme Court, because he don't want those checks and balances there. A federal judge in California sided with two unions in May and blocked the layoff plan at more than 24 federal agencies. So they've been blocking and blocking and blocking, but now the Supreme Court has said, hey, we're going to allow this to take place. More than 24 federal agencies, while the policy was being challenged, the Trump administration told the Supreme Court this was an overreach by those courts. And guess what? Supreme Court agreed. This gave a green light to lay off until the high courts decide to take up the underlying cases that have already been brought, which they'll probably just throw them out. While the justices didn't issue a decision on the underlying cases, because they're going to throw them out, they said the Trump administration was likely to succeed in arguing the executive order was lawful. See what I said? They're going to throw them out. The senior White House official said that the agencies are now awaiting guidance on the next steps in the layoff process, but the administration will be acting immediately. The official said some agencies had layoff plans before U.S. District Judge Susan Ilston in San Francisco took action, and now those plans are unpaused. The agencies that are now free from Judge Ilston, her block, includes agriculture, commerce, energy. That means they can get cut. Health and Human Services is going to get cut. Justice, Labor is going to get cut. Treasury, State Veterans Affairs is going to get cut. And when I say cut, I mean those layoffs. The Environmental Protection Agency is going to have cuts. Social Security Administration, some agencies may still be blocked from layoffs due to other cases, but they're going to have layoffs as well. The senior White House official, said that they expect to be sued over individual agencies' layoff plans, which the Supreme Court decision did not address, but the administration expects to win those lawsuits as well. Whatever they want, they're winning it. Whether it makes sense or not, whether it hurts people or not. They say if agencies proceed with previously announced layoff plans, thousands of federal workers across the country could soon lose their jobs. For example, the Department of Health and Human Services announced April 1st will begin the process of laying off 10,000 employees at the Department of Health and Human Services. As part of the process, agencies offered employees buyouts, remember that, and early retirement incentives. The Department of Veterans Affairs, the largest civilian agency in the federal government, saw 17,000 employees resign since January and expect another 12,000 to leave by the end of September, according to Secretary Doug Collins. Now, if you think services was bad for veterans now, wait till all of these cuts happen. As a result, Collins said the agency would not need to conduct widespread layoffs. A previously leaked memo said Veterans Affairs would lay off 76,000 people. See, they don't want to tell you this, but there are people in there that are whistleblowers that are leaking these things so people can have a heads up. Not that it would help, but you at least know. Okay, so who has the power to fire? They said Peter Shane and professor at New York University School of Law, told USA Today that over the years, Congress has given the president authority to move parts of agencies around, but retain veto authority over the changes following the 1930s. Well, that's over and done. The Supreme Court ruled that veto authority unconstitutional in the 1980s. In response, Congress took back the reorganization authority. And now the president's taking it back. And then it goes into a whole lot of political stuff that I don't want to get into. But this is not looking good for the federal workers. It's just not looking good for them at all. And I know my sister tried to retire from the VA, and they denied it. But hey, that don't mean she won't get cut. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people up in the air on a lot of things and going to have to rearrange a lot of things. And when you think about these cuts to Medicaid that's happening, Social Security, Medicare, most likely WIC programs, if you're talking about health and human services, mental health therapists, and all of that is going to be cut. And then you see the layoffs that took place with NOAA. I always tell you to get your radios, get your weather radios, all that stuff. You see the cuts that happen with NOAA, with meteorologists, with scientists, period, being cut. And we're not getting the emergency alerts as we should. They may come too late. You see what happened in Texas. It's weird weather everywhere. That wasn't even a named storm. Some people are saying they didn't get the alerts till after the flood hit. But they probably could have, but I mean, who knows? But they had cuts. They even had flooding in Mexico. Crazy, right? It looked just like Texas. But anyway, just wanted to bring y'all a bit of news that you can use. Thank y'all for coming in. I wish I could see your names to actually say hey to y'all, but listen, these eyes is fuzzy. They're very fuzzy today. So I'm going to go find something for my husband to eat and find me something to eat that's not going to wreck me on my diet. So y'all take care. Stay safe. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and leave your comments. And I love you guys, but God truly loves you more. He created only one you. Be the very best you that you can be. And when you are, go out and spread God's love. Keep stocking up, keep preparing, stay safe, and keep your head on a swivel. Bye.